All right. I think we should be live here. What's up, everyone? It's Bismo here back with the Bismo Show. I think this is almost show 20. Might be show 19. I probably should have double checked. But either way, it's a special one because we're joined by Anthony from Pente Patrol Star Wars. What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. It's been a while. I mean, last time I think we talked, we had like a bigger stream going with us, a couple of people from Stay on Target, Dan and Dustin. It was like four people going at it. Was that like maybe before the finale? I forget when, but it was a lot of fun.
The episode before the finale. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Well, thanks for deciding to hop on back over here to chat with me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Totally.
yeah, there's been a lot of stuff this January. Just has dropped a lot of information and news out there, as far as what's going on in the Star Wars universe. So excited to get your thoughts. And with the title of the video, the Star Wars What If, that's being one of those. But anyhow, if you don't know who Anthony is, Pent Patrol Star Wars, I would say he is the king of what ifs, like Star Wars what ifs. I'm gonna be honest, like if you look at his channel, if you take a look at his channel, you will see numerous, countless movies, like what if movies there. I mean, what is your upload schedule like? Is it daily? Is it almost daily? Like,
It's as close as you can get to daily without being daily.
yeah. And this is like daily, like your short videos are like 30 minutes, and like uh, average probably like close to an hour, like in that range, kind of.
Yeah, it's a wild schedule,
Well,
but it's
yeah,
lots of fun.
definitely check them out if you're watching the VOD and you're just trying to watch some new content, with especially with this kind of, we don't know when our next piece of Star Wars content is coming out there. Go check out Pen Patrol's channel, link in the description. Also, you can click on the title. Today, you posted a what if. What was the exact title again?
It was what if the Empire never phased out the clone army?
Yeah, yeah. I watched that one today. That one was really good, and it's an idea like I've really liked too. The original Star Wars Battlefront 2, like I guess pre Disney, like or wherever they had a mission where you play as the Empire, like the 501st, like that's like the campaign, and they go to Camino to stop this clone uprising. And I always thought that was like one of my most favorite missions. It was just such a fun idea that they played with. Obviously, like with Bad Batch now, like it's a little bit different, but they kind of see an idea of like kind of a clone uprising, but just like keeping the clones kind of still in the picture was really cool though. Like, where'd you come up with that idea, and how long did it take you to write it?
Um, I don't really know where I came with the idea for it, but I think it was like a parallel to I did a couple months ago. I did what if the droid army joined the rebellion, and I was like, what if I did the inverse of that? The clones joining the Empire. Obviously, I'm gonna get to the clones and the rebellion. The thumbnail's really cool, but I haven't had like the inspiration for that. But like for writing that one, it definitely took a couple hours because like I had to keep trying to figure out how I wanted to do it without because like you have Sidious as like this main focus because like you can't have the clones in the Empire without him being like yeah that's cool. So he had to have like this focus, but I also had to kind of make sure the clones were still included in a way without making them feel insignificant to the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I really like that aspect, and I guess I don't want to spoil too much for those that haven't seen it, but I really like the aspect of kind of like exploring and playing out the idea of like Palpatine's ultimate plan, like ultimate kind of goal to some extent, in a different form, right? But like his goal of eternal life essentially realized,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that was a cool aspect to try and kind of play towards that direction of what we know about what he wanted.
Yeah, no, I really like that one. And I'm excited to see the clones and the rebellion, though. Technically, we've got Rex already in the rebellion, though.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be exciting to multiply
Yep,
them.
yep. Heck yeah. Well, speaking of what ifs, though, a rumor going around the past couple of days is that Lucasfilm has started development, or at least plans to develop their own Star Wars What If, which has been talked about, for years. Like, why haven't they done this with so many people doing that? Marvel got their own. What do you think about that idea? And like, are you excited about them doing it? Like, what do you think it would be about? I guess.
I think it's great. I mean, I love whenever new Star Wars content comes out, so that's great. I mean, there's a plethora of ideas that pull from. I know that they're gonna do like if they actually are doing it, they're gonna probably do like the ideas that everyone talks about. What if Anakin never turned to the dark side?
Yeah.
What if Luke joined Vader on Bespin? Like those kind of ideas, I feel like will be seen in that type of series. So I think it's great. Plus, like for me, like I always want to animate the videos that I make. So like seeing what ifs, it's probably gonna be animated. I doubt they would do live
Yeah.
action, but seeing what ifs animated would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I think that would be the best move. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And like you're saying, there's just like an endless amount of ideas. And I mean, that's why like we make these what ifs, is because like we kind of want to know what would happen because there's such interesting ideas to play with and fun to do.
Yeah, exactly. So if they are making it, it would be really cool.
Yeah. I wonder, the thing is, I wonder like, I'm sure they would have, probably similar to Visions, maybe they would have a bunch of different writers. It'd probably be the same studio, but I would think it would be cool like to have multiple different writers potentially. Um I wonder if like I don't know if like Dave Filoni would helm it or not as far as like the animation would go, but do you think there's any chance they would like, I don't know, take ideas already used like from, I guess, you or just anyone else, right? Just like the fans in general?
I could see it. I saw an interview back in the day of John Favreau mentioning that he's seen things on YouTube and stuff like that. So like I doubt they're oblivious to the creators making things. I think it's just more of a if they you know if they decide to take ideas or if they're just like, well, this idea would be fun, or like you said, pulling different writers and just kind of doing different episodes run by different writers because like they're not going to be sequential in any way. So it's like you get this idea, you get that idea, have fun.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it is really endless possibilities because, I mean, just with like a lot of the popular what ifs, like, sure, there's a good amount of what ifs that have only maybe done once, or there's still endless that haven't been done at all. But for like a lot of the popular ones on YouTube, you'll get somebody that has their own version of that kind of same idea, and it will maybe start off similar and get very different, or just different from the start. Um, they could even do things of potential like, this person's version of this what if, or this person, like the same general idea though of like, what if, Anakin never turned, or something like that, or if Mace Windu uh, killed Sidious like at the time, or just, there's endless possibilities, right?
Absolutely. So much to pull from. I mean, 9 movies, multiple shows, like there's be endless to pull from.
Yeah, I'm not even like, so as far as like, I'm probably not the biggest Marvel fan out there, but I do like Marvel, and I did watch the what ifs there, and like, even though I didn't know much about, like, it was pretty cool to see those kind of bigger ideas of like, well, I know this character, but what if this happened? Like, that was pretty fun to do, and I know it got really good reception. So I think that could be just like a, like, who could not be like happy to get something like a what if Star Wars though? Like, that's just extra bonus Star Wars, and like, it wouldn't matter, like, it doesn't matter what necessarily happens, right? Like, it's just like a fun playground, and there shouldn't be like any like, well, this should have happened. Well, no, it's a what if, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I couldn't see a reason to be upset with it, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess what do you guys think in the chat? Are you excited for Star Wars What If being potentially made by Lucasfilm? And also, just as a side note, I forgot to mention this, but on the channel and on these live streams, I'm doing an actual Q&A section. So like the Q&A box, you can put questions that maybe we might miss something you guys say in the chat, or just you want it for sure addressed. Put it in that Q&A, and we'll address it at the end and go through it and do it live. Especially like if you have to go now, but you want to just have a question for later, just put it in there. But Star Wars What If sounds great, says Icy. Uh, Yeah. What's up, Icy? Tevin Daniels, Treyas Heavy. What's up? Take a break, mate. It's like 4 a.m. over there. Flies Emporium of Randomness up. What if Mace put Sidious in a spliff? Gonna what does that say? In a spliff? What is? I don't know what that is. I hope that wasn't like something bad. No. I vote Pen Patrol to run Star Wars. What if? That's that. See, that would be a good move. That would be a good move. Got all the ideas. He's ready to go.
Oh man.
If you were offered something like that, would you take it? Is the question.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Jump at the
I think it'd be
opportunity.
cool. I think it'd be awesome. I wouldn't want to abandon PPSW. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's like the one thing I wouldn't want to abandon
yeah,
PPSW to do it. I would be like, I still got to do this. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. And that's totally fair. Like it's like your baby. Like yeah, like
Yeah.
it's to some extent like there's yeah. I guess even for me, like my yeah, I mean YouTube channel has always been a part of me to some extent. It'd be tough to like sell it, if somebody were like to like, hey, I want to buy your YouTube channel or something like that. It'd be tough. It would be hard for me to just like let go, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something you've spent so much time on and just passion, I guess. But well,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think just about everyone's excited with Star Wars What If, and honestly, if you're not excited for something like that, like what are you going to be excited about in Star Wars? Like, come on. But yeah, speaking of, I guess, projects, but for let's look a little bit more closer to the present. I guess the four major shows, and I guess also there's a potential game that might come out, Outlaws. But so we've got the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Bad Batch season 3. Oh, Tales of the Jedi this year. Like that sounds like that's the slate for this year. Um, I know you're generally all Star Wars is good. Well, if you had to pick, like, what are you most excited for, like, of those, or I don't know, best feeling about it?
Oh, I mean, like Tales of the Jedi is epic, but like for like a whole show, because Tales of the Jedi is probably going to be another six like short episodes.
Yeah,
I think I think Acolyte's where it needs to be. I think
hmm
going in a different direction from the main saga is
yeah,
a really cool idea. Like breaking either
mhm.
future outwards in the future, outwards in the past. I think either way, it'd be super cool to go that way. But Acolyte is out of it, so I think I'm really excited because I'm trying to get into. I got like tons of High Republic stuff because I'm trying to get
Mhm.
into it.
Yeah,
And so like
it's nice.
I'm
I
excited for
like that
that because
cover.
there's so many cool like images in it alone, but like
hmm
the idea of like this era of Jedi where they're at their pinnacle, like actually at
Yeah,
their pinnacle, and I think that's a cool concept, and this is going to lead to the end of the Jedi, and it even comes depending on when they decide they're going to release it. There's a book coming out later for what happens in the year leading up to Phantom Menace with the High Council or something like that. But yeah, I think High Republic is top, or actually top of the list. How about you?
yeah. When last week I was with Justin on here, and we kind of asked kind of a similar thing, just I guess ratings of excitement, and I kind of did something a little bit different as far as like I put the Acolyte as I think it has the most potential to be like the absolute best out of all of them, but also like it could also be, in my opinion, like maybe not as consistent as the other ones, but I think they could really shoot for the stars with this one. With I mean, like you're saying, in this era of the High Republic, being so rich with material, I can't say I'm extremely knowledgeable in the High Republic. And at first, I probably wasn't like super excited about it, but after playing Jedi Survivor and the references of the High Republic, then like that got me much more open minded to like see more content of that. So I think I'm the most interested about that one. Um, can't really go wrong with like Tales of the Jedi, but it's just not a ton of content at the same time, right? I think
Yeah,
Bad Batch season 3 though, like I'm really excited to see how that kind of wraps up, especially with them kind of leading with or leaving us off with some really fun ideas with like Mount Tantus and something like that. What do you think about Bad Batch season 3? And obviously, I don't know. It is sad that there's only one more season.
I think it's going to be a dark ending. I'm not going to lie. You know, it's we're going into the era of the Empire, like the pinnacle of the rise of the Empire. I'm sure there's gonna be a time skip between season 2 and 3, but, like, I'm kind of getting, like, maybe, like Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi vibes just in seasons of the show, but it's like the ending isn't gonna be as like, "Oh, we defeated the Empire." It's like,
Yeah,
whatever
it's
we
not.
have left is what we have left.
Yeah, it's not really an option per se. Like, or like maybe with the last 5 minutes they cut like 40 years to a Omega or something. I don't know. It's an
That would be
idea.
wild.
Like living at like
But
after the end of the Empire, or like she somehow helped out with some of the just some kind of fight like on Endor, not maybe not Endor, but just that the end of
yeah,
the finale, right? Of at least there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just a lot of interesting ideas. Like the I wish I knew more. I do wish I knew more. I should dive more into like Mount Tantus, but like is it like the start of, I guess, like the cloning and like Palpatine's, I guess, plans to like bigger plans beyond just the galaxy.
Yeah, so I think it all leads to Necromancer, which is what was in Mando, season 1 through 3. It's just I think all of it's just tying together like this really long chain of events that ties back to the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. But Tantus is like the facility on Jakku and Exegol. It's like it's meant to be this. I mean, I'm sure there's other things going on, but I think the main point is Palpatine having his contingency plan come to reality.
Yeah, yeah. The stuff is fascinating. Like like I like these shows, and especially the animated, for it to be able to go more in detail and like, I guess, put stuff under a microscope to just see deeper lore. Like the Clone Wars, for example, just when like the Geonosian draws out the Death Star plans, but like they don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Just little things like that, and I don't know, going into more detail. That's why I like these shows. So Bad Batch for me, like, just always feels like it's exciting because you get Star Wars every week. And for me, it's very Star Warsy, and like maybe it's just like one of those animation things because I grew up with the Clone Wars, so I have a little bit more bias towards like that kind of animation, especially with clones. But I just feel like at home when I'm kind of watching, um, I guess, clones in animation and just Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, like, almost nostalgic in a way because like,
Hmm.
you watch season 1 of Clone Wars and you come to Bad Batch, you're like, "Whoa," like, that's, like, 10 years of just transformation. Well, it's more than 10 years, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, some names in chat I haven't seen before, so say hello there. But maybe read some chat for a second here, see what people are saying. Um, I saw this one was from Corrupted Blade. Pence will be sure to kill off Ahsoka every chance he gets. I do remember this being a thing, or at least seeing this somewhere. Like, is this a thing on your channel?
It was like an inside joke kinda thing on the channel because like, last year, not 23, but 22, right when the channel started taking off, I had, like, a string of videos, and it was completely coincidence, it wasn't intended, but, like, I killed Ahsoka off in, like, 2 or 3 videos in a row by accident, like, I just wasn't thinking, and I was like, "Oh, I need to kill off a character," just pull a name out of a hat, and every time it was Ahsoka, so I just killed her off, and then I started getting comments like, "Do you hate Ahsoka?" And I was like, "Actually, I do, let me kill her off again." But I don't hate her. It was just
Yeah,
like it was just kind of like a meme. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
it's
funny.
it's kind of a long time joke that I hate characters that I kill off because yeah.
Uh, oh, that's funny. The most recent what if I posted, the what if Yoda killed Dooku. It leads to Ahsoka does get killed off in that what if, funnily enough, as well at some point. Mostly because she never leaves the Jedi Order, so she's like still kind of, I guess, in the action of I do some of the events of Episode 3, I guess, or like focus on a specific point there. But no, that that's funny. Bro,
Yeah.
Memento, Travis Heavy, um, Comrade. Oh boy, the Bad Batch. Like, yeah, I'm like actually like, it's tough to gauge. I think like I'm always gonna watch new Star Wars when it comes out, but I try to take things from a face value. But I don't want to think about it too much, right? Like, it's fun to speculate. I don't want to like get my expectations too high, but also dissect anything too much before it comes out. Like, already have my opinion, I guess, made up on it. But like at the same time, for me, Skeleton Crew, I'm not gonna raise my expectations for it just because, like, I mean, not to say it doesn't like interest me, but I don't know if there's not like Hondo Anaka in a pirate esque show, I might be a bit more out of the loop. We need Hondo.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there on Skeleton Crew. Do you have any like other thoughts for what we might see? Do you know much about it?
I hear it might be a little bit more kid focused. It takes place probably in the Mandoverse, probably in the Mandoverse, and maybe like in that one episode of Mando season 3, like those pirate people, like that one guy that flies away. Um, they're fighting like the green like huge captain, like one of his men. I forget his name. It was like Vant or something, but like he flies away. I think like characters like that will make an appearance, and I hope for like Hondo. I feel like there's some characters that like, oh, where are they? I want them bad on live action. Say that I love Ahsoka as a show overall, but where is Zeb? Like, come on.
Bro, after we saw that cameo in season 3, I was convinced we were gonna see him.
Yeah, how are they gonna do that? Like, come on. Oh
The
my.
model was perfect too. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. But
Maybe that's why though. Like, maybe it's just too much. But come on, like, I need Zeb. Need Zeb. Especially that
yeah.
Ezra's back now. Like, getting the gang back together, Ezra, Hera, and that's my favorite part about Ahsoka in general, though, is just how much it sets up. Like, it's good on its own and a lot of like really fun stuff. But the amount that that show sets up towards the end of like pieces to play with compared to, I guess, like just about like, any of the other shows in my opinion, I guess, like that's what I'm most excited about, the future of that story. I guess like in this, we were talking about we want to either go super far in the future or super far in the past. I agree with you. And that's kind of one of the problems I guess I currently have is like, even though I'm more hardcore, I compared to, I guess, like a casual viewer, I can understand like shows when they take place. Like for example, like Andor, but like for like a casual person, how do they know that something like Andor might not relate to like what just released with Mandalorian and stuff? I guess my point here is I'm most invested in this Mandoverse story right now in this kind of area, and I want that to kind of be told. But then I would like just some more continuity of like, all right, pick an area and let's tell that story. Just I don't know.
No, I agree with you because like I'm the same way. Like I said earlier, like I'm most excited to move outwards, but like I love the in between the prequels and OT era, like that Empire Reign era where you have Star Wars Rebels, Solo, a Star Wars story, Kenobi, all those shows. Like I love that era because there's so much just rich content there. But I agree, like for a casual fan, it might be hard. Like not even a casual fan, for a casual viewer, it might be hard because like the sequels just came out, right?
Hmm.
Well, not came out, but like five
Yeah,
to nearly ten
they're
years
the
ago,
last movies that came
and
out.
exactly. And so, like, if you're a casual viewer, you're like, oh, Mandalorian. And if you're not that deep into it, you
Hmm.
don't know that Mandalorian comes after Return of the Jedi. And
Yeah,
so that might be confusing. And then you see Andor, you're like, oh, that
yeah.
must relate to Rise of Skywalker or Force Awakens or whatever. And it's like, no,
Um,
it's actually before New Hope.
yeah, and it's like
So,
as a Star Wars, like a Star Wars nerd, because I mean that's what we are, and I'm proud, proud to be. Uh, but like, for example, watching with my parents, like the Mandalorian when it came out, like it's like trying to explain, so like this is a bit after Return of the Jedi, and then trying to give a reminder of like of like what that is, and it's not the movies we just watched, but it's the movie, the original trilogy, and then a bit after that. It does make it hard because I like to rewatch, like if possible, like with family members, like if possible, or like if I'm over holidays watching this kind of stuff. But with so many different shows and then being in different eras, it's hard to like get on like a, I don't know, like like it's hard to be like, all right, what happens next, and have those kind of connect when they might be separate, I guess.
yeah, because I had the same issue for one of the holidays. I watched Mandalorian season 3 with my mom, and I was like, "So there's a show that comes in between this. It's called Book of Boba Fett, and
Yeah.
you need to watch one episode to understand why this happens." And she's like, "Okay, but I'm not gonna watch that." I was like, "Fair enough."
Yep.
She's like, "Can you just explain it to me?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I did my Star Wars encyclopedia knowledge, and I was just like spewing facts at her. And I was yeah. So I mean, she understood, but like
Yeah.
if she didn't like have an encyclopedia walking around the house with her, she wouldn't have known why they were back together, or
Yeah.
or so I do get what you mean for especially casual fans,
Yeah.
and
And
you know.
I mean, even just yeah, and casual fans in general, like I guess other friends my age that are just not into Star Wars as much as me, but like watch The Mandalorian, they're confused as well. Like, why are they back together? It's like trying to say like you gotta watch Book of Boba. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you gotta watch it. Like
Yeah, no, I get it. I think that's like the one. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to see what works best,
hmm
and then whatever it is. So say for example, say like Acolyte is just like this renowned show. They might just go full High Republic. Like they might be like, all right, we're gonna do all the books, we're gonna do all the shows, all that stuff, and go like movies, in that direction. Or they're gonna just keep doing this and be like, all right, season two of the Acolyte and season five of Mandalorian, and then people are
yeah,
gonna be like, you know, because it's I feel like it's a little harder with Star Wars than it is for like Marvel, because they're kind of doing the same thing they do with Marvel, which is like add shows, add movies, stuff like
yeah,
that, which is great. But Marvel is a lot more linear from my understanding. Like everything is post Endgame at this point.
yeah.
So like
It's pretty linear. Even that one is still a little confusing, but yes, it's at least in the same era. Whereas we might be in completely separate eras altogether.
yeah, because I think all three shows coming out this year, or all four, sorry, are in different eras. Bad Batch is between the prequels and OT. Oh no, Andor, no,
Andor
Andor's
2025.
That's 25, yeah. So, yeah, Skeleton Crew is a New Republic era, Acolyte's High Republic, and we don't know where Tales of the Jedi is, but that might be prequel era.
Probably
So,
prequel and Clone Wars, maybe. Like,
so
yeah,
all
that
four
that's
shows
all.
are in
Yeah,
this
like
different eras.
exactly. Like that's just the point. Like, I, new Star Wars, good, but maybe a little bit more continuity. And telling, I guess, a linear story might help with the casual audience coming from some Star Wars fans that maybe know a little too much. No. But
Yeah.
no, I saw something funny in the chat. Andrew Winslow Kabanta from Book of Book Fett. Very, very nice. Just a reminder for those, I see a lot in the chat. We won't be able to get to everything, but if you for sure have a question you want to have answered by us, just put it in the Q&A, and we'll get to that at the end of the show. We'll still do it live with you guys and answer all your questions. So if you have a question you for sure, or just something you want to talk about, put it in that Q&A section, and we'll do it at the end of the show. But what I guess what do you think of, like, to go back to the skeleton crew though? Like I guess what other thoughts I guess are there to have about it? Like, do you think it will play a big impact in the Mandiverse story, or kind of more like a side questy like pirate adventure?
I feel like it's gonna be a lot more homey, which I mean, I feel like its target audience is like young adult, and so I feel like it's gonna be much more homey. The humor is probably gonna be a lot more like kind of rebels type humor, but it seems like it's a group of like almost I almost want to say like Stranger Things, but Star
Yeah,
Wars, if that makes
that's
sense. Like
yeah. I think
that's
that's what I was saying last week. That doesn't like Stranger Things. No, but
yeah.
that would make me more, I guess, inclined. No,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it.
yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I might be surprised. I might not. I'm usually like the big thing for me is I always go into things with an open mind. Like I don't really like set a bar or anything. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah,
let's see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah. Compared to some people I know that set bars maybe more than me. I'm probably in between of like I have some expectations, but I at least try to give everything a chance, though. Like I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm not expecting Darth Vader to show up in Skeleton Crew. So if I expect him to show up, then I'll probably be disappointed. But like there might be a cameo or something. But
Yeah,
I'm not expecting Vader or
yeah,
someone else like that.
yeah. I remember trolling, just like I think on social media somewhere, like after I'd seen the Rise of Skywalker, or like the premiere. I just put like or like I just saw the Rise of Skywalker. Guess what? Darth Vader dies. Like I just feel like you would not believe the amount of people that have not seen Star Wars that were like, "What? Are you, what are you kidding? You just spoiled? Are you kidding me?" Like, it just jogged a memory there though. Like of like casual viewers in general though. Like like it's it's a lot to keep track of though. Like it is a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of stuff, and there's so much stuff out there that I don't think there's anyone that any singular person that knows every little fact or detail. Like it's it's just it's infinite galaxy. There's just so much.
Yeah, I mean, it is information on top of information on top of information, and I think that's what that like. I think that's what they're kind of going with Ahsoka. Like, you could theoretically go into Ahsoka without having seen anything else
Yeah,
and kind of get an idea of what's going on. Like, you can watch it and understand the story because Balin and Shin are new, so it's not like their characters have been established. So like you can get into the story without knowing anything, but I guess what the point they're trying to prove is that you can like if you've seen Clone Wars or Rebels or whatnot, you have the emotional connection.
yeah,
But you can also have just watched all the saga movies and go into Ahsoka and still kind of be up to date. And you can kind of figure out where you are in the timeline kind of sense because of the New Republic that's present in the show. So I think they might continue to do that going forward. I'm not really sure though.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. As far as that goes, I was getting distracted there in the chat again. Just as people were saying no. That's funny. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I just want to hear more though, because I don't think we have a release date on anything though of the things in 2024, and we are in 2024. Like, there's no trailers, no really like. I hope this stuff is coming out this year. Like,
Yeah, I mean they did a big reveal with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's going to be coming out, which is going is that season 4 or because I've seen mixed things, so I'm not sure.
yeah.
Is that
So
season 4 or is it separate?
So yeah, as far as the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, that's like going to be a for sure thing. Like that's like a movie that takes place after Mando season 3. But the question though is still it's kind of up in the air of I think they're deciding, are we going to do like 6 episodes? This is an idea, like they do 6 episodes, Mando season 4, 6 episodes, and then the finale is the movie. That's an idea out there that apparently is being discussed that might actually be done. Or is it just the movie in general, and that is Mando season 4? Or they still just do a regular season and then the movie's just after it anyway. But I do think the idea right now, the most popular one, like that, again, these are just rumors, but the 6 episodes, they'll have 6 episodes, and then the movie will be basically the finale of the season. They'll shoot it all at the same time. They'll have those episodes kind of come out, and the idea I was having with, or I was talking with Dustin about this from Stand Target. Um, that would be a good way to market the show, though, especially if it's a really good like season every week to have that, and then leave it off with a cliffhanger, and then maybe have 2 weeks more of promotion and put trailers, and then drop the movie. Um, like yeah, Mandalorian Grogu, that's for sure the next movie that is coming out now. Like that will be the next movie that Lucasfilm like drops, though. That was confirmed.
Yeah, that comes out in March of 20 or May of 24 25, sorry, right? Um,
I think it might actually have been pushed back to May of 26. I don't know for sure though if there's
26.
any
Okay.
release. Like if we go back like a few months before the strike, like the talk of like the movie slate is it would have been the next Star Wars movie would have been December of 25, like the earliest one. But I think that would all
Yeah.
got shifted. So I think yeah, like 2026 Star Wars Celebration. I think that would be a good release that around Star Wars Day. That would be a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
which is still kind of like in 2024, like want it now. I want more,
Yeah, right.
and I know I shouldn't.
It's so hard because you want the content, but you also want them to take their time with it so that it's,
Yeah,
up to date. Like Andor being pushed back another year. Like you want it now, but you also want Andor to still be Andor. You know, it's the way it is for a reason. So I mean,
Yeah. I I kind of have a running well, it's not really a joke, but it is kind of a joke. But like as far as Andor goes, I'm not the biggest fan. The my friends from Stay on Target, they're big fans of Andor, but if any of them are watching or hear this, I'm not a fan of Andor. Like it, but I'm excited for season two. No, no, I had to put that out there since it was brought up. No, but it's not just. Um, yeah, no, I actually am pretty excited for Andor season two. The biggest thing about Andor season one for me is I just wanted, maybe it's the ADHD in me or something, but I just wanted it to happen a little bit quicker. As far as like, I wanted him to become a rebel like sooner. Like now it's like I know there's only one season left, like it's just two seasons, but it took the whole season to get him to be a rebel. It's like I wanted to see more like fun missions of him as him, being this kind of like agent for the rebellion to some extent, or doing missions. But either way, we'll get that in season two. So I actually am looking forward to that though.
Yeah, and I think with Andor it's just different. Like I think Andor is more of a series you have to watch in like one go or multiple goes because like just like splitting up week by week by week by week is just kind of hard to digest because there's a lot that happens.
Yeah.
And so like you kind of need I feel like if like to get like super into it, yeah, I think it's like an easier on the mind to do like 3 episodes, 4 episodes at a time for each of the respective arcs. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something to be said with just Disney Plus, but the Star Wars shows in general, though. I feel like some of the series we've seen would have been better off if they dropped it all at once. Um, Now that would mean less Star Wars. Like it's fun to like be able to speculate each week. I do enjoy that, but sometimes like when you get like sometimes you get a Mando episode, and it's like it's 25 minutes long before credits. Like I feel like I haven't like gotten gotten my week's worth or something like that. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely get that with some of the shows that are like weekly because like you kind of get that with filler episodes and you're just kind of like, all right, I see, I get it, but like,
Especially like Bad Batch though, because they're only like 20 minutes long. Like I look forward to each week. Like, and I at the very least I'm gonna have fun with them. But like a 20-minute filler episode, it's like I definitely want more. Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you, but I mean, Bad Batch is such in the style of Clone Wars, so like it's
yeah,
kind of to be expected because
yeah. I wouldn't
it's just
expect
very
them to do
similar to
anything
like,
different. And I don't
yeah,
mind that as much. Just I guess food for thought of like you're saying how they dropped like the 3 episodes of Andor to start. Some of these shows might benefit from doing that, or like drop, for example, maybe even considering like the future of, well, obviously the movie, that would be a big shake up, but like they dropped half the season and then like the second half or something like that, like leave it on like a mid-season finale, like a Stranger Things where they drop half and half or something like that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, they're I think they're still trying to learn how they want to do it. I guess
Yeah,
with
it
Star
sounds like
Wars.
they're, yeah, still kind of experimenting to some extent. And if they actually do 6 episodes and a movie, I think that would be a lot of fun. Like regardless, like been too long with no big screen. Like I love movies. I love going to the movie theater. Like I like shows, but I do want to see Star Wars back on the big screen. Like, and if I can see,
Nothing beats it.
yeah, nothing beats Star Wars on the big screen. And imagine seeing Din Djarin and I guess Din Grogu now back in action on the big screen. That would, I would think that's got to do well too, with just how marketed Grogu is in general. Like people that have never seen Star Wars would go to that. Like
Yeah, literally.
good way to
It,
get new
I
fans. And
mean,
yeah,
yeah, it's like such a phenomenon when Star Wars is on the big screen. Like it's like almost like a cultural event. Like everyone like needs to go and see it.
yeah.
You
It's like
know.
I'm, as soon as tickets are available, I'm securing my spot. Make sure I have a good spot in the premiere.
Yeah, first in line, everything, bro.
Cannot risk getting spoiled. Like when it comes to the movies, like the
Mhm.
shows, it's like I watch pretty. I do like that is a big move that the, at least for me, they come out at 8 p.m. That's like prime time, perfect to watch a show. So I
Yeah,
did appreciate that when Ahsoka was dropping. compared to like maybe when I was still like finishing up like high school. Some well, yeah, I guess yeah, my last year of high school or something like that. When Mando was dropping, it's like, oh, I gotta like like I can't really watch it, and I'm at school, and it's like I would see somebody like watching it like during school. I'm like, ah, for me, like I gotta have it like a pretty dark room, like on the TV, and just be like fully focused.
Yeah.
But that's why I like the theater though. Like it really can't get much better than on the big screen. Of course, depending on hopefully people in there are respectful. I've had a couple bad experiences unfortunately with some phone use or people that are just talking like a ton during a movie. It's the worst.
Uh, yeah. No.
Uh, Somebody in the chat saying, "I don't know if I want to see episode of TV at the movie theater." Degent, Lord. Well, I don't think it's an episode of TV though. It so I mean, it'd be the last two episodes of content, but no, I wouldn't think of it like that. Like, they're still, I think, if they're for sure spending the most focus, like if they're making this a movie for sure, which they are, they're gonna make this as good as it can be. And I would almost think of like they'll still make Mando season 4 good, but their focus is gonna for sure gonna be on the movie in a similar style to Ahsoka, where if you haven't watched it, you can watch it and kind of know what's going on. But they'll probably, they'll have to tie it in to some extent, like how Ahsoka does. But they'll make it like a movie, like movie production, movie like monetary value on the spending, and the cinematography is probably going to be more movie like compared to a show. It might be a little bit similar, but I don't know. I actually wouldn't really care if it was an episode of The Mandalorian on the big screen either. I would still see it.
Yeah. Weren't there a couple episodes of Ahsoka that were dropped on big screen?
Yeah, I think episode 5, the Anakin episode, was on the big screen. The closest theater to me was like 10 hours away. I could not do it. Um,
Yeah.
I would have. It's always the pain though. Like every theater, like come on, just have the showing. No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, like I said, people in the chat, if I see some questions in there, make sure to put it in the Q&A for us for sure to get to it. Sometimes I'll check out chat if we can, but we're getting deep in these discussions. I know I'm going to be missing stuff, or we'll be missing stuff, so that way still answer some stuff you want to talk about. I guess I did a what if a while back. I mean, it was titled like how Bo-Katan and Din Djarin get together, and essentially it's just Mando season 4. Back when a lot of the Bo Din videos I was making, shipping them. But what do you think of Mando season 4 will be about, and how much will it tie into Ahsoka, or will it still be on a separate arc for now until they both kind of intersect? Like, I think.
I I think I think Mando season 4 naturally goes into the direction of a New Republic based season 1, if that makes sense. Where he's kind of doing what he was doing in season 1, but instead of
Yeah,
doing it for himself, he's doing it for a cause. And I think
yeah.
that's naturally where his arc falls. Because like I never like could see him being leader of Mandalore, but back to your Dinbo thing, I I don't think they get together. I don't know. Like they had the chemistry, right? Um, but I don't know. I because she's taken up this role that her sister once held, and she's trying to rebuild a society like Satine did. And I don't know if she's gonna be like, oh, let me get into a relationship right now, because So
You're breaking my
I feel like
heart.
season.
No, no,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry. But I think season 4 is like, I think like, remember Rangers of the New Republic, that show that
Yeah,
never happened?
yeah, yeah.
I think it's gonna be like Rangers of the New Republic and Mandalorian as one, and I don't know if it's gonna lead to Ahsoka. Like,
Okay.
there might be references to things that happen, like say for example, it's like, did you hear Thrawn returned?
Hmm.
What? Who's that?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But aside from that, I don't really like, unless it's like leading to that Heir to the Empire movie, which people are calling it. Like, I don't know. They might all be leading to that though. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be more Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah. And I think that's I like how you worded it a bit better. But that's how like my I guess my what if essentially, which is my version of Mando season 4 is it's Din and Grogu helping out Santeva, um, and then running into some stormtroopers and finding out that well, I do tie it directly, I guess, but not indirectly, but like finding out some remnants of some more Imperial remnants, and then like maybe a Captain Pelion or an Eli Vanto figure appears because I want to see Eli Vanto personally. I just want to make a quick clarification. You saw this in the chat. Will we be getting season 4 during or after the movie? If we get a Mando season 4 like episodes, those will for sure be before the movie. Like the movie will come out after. Like I'm like pretty confident on. If there is for sure a Mando season 4, the episodes will become before the movie. If there is no Mando season 4, then the movie just is Mando season 4. But I think it's going to be 6 episodes come out of Mando season 4, and then there'll be like a week or two break to promote the movie more, and they'll be promoting probably the movie to some extent throughout this. Or it could be like there's 6 episodes and then a month or two break or something like that. But I think for sure the episodes first and then the movie. What's up, Sonya? Pimp Daddy Bane. I've seen that name in here before. I like that name. It's funny. Is it like Pimp Daddy Darth Bane though, or Cad Bane, or Bane
it's
from
Cad
Marvel?
Bane.
It's Cad Bane.
Is Cad Bane.
Okay, nice. And is Cad Bane still alive?
What if Mando season 4 is here we go with the what ifs.
Yeah,
What if it's Cad Bane versus Mando?
that would be a standout. That would be a lot of fun. I love that. Love that idea. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel like if it is 6 episodes, at least the first arc, or well, if it's split into 2 arcs, I think for sure that first fourth they're gonna give us, like you're saying, this Mando and Grogu classic kind of adventures that has been missing for a little bit now, and they know that people want, or at least more for sure. Like a lot of people just enjoy seeing that and seeing them together, and I mean I do too. Um, I, it's just a matter of how quickly they do want to, I guess, combine these stories, and I guess to address the Bo Din, do I think they will like get together in Mando season 4? Probably not. For those of you watching, what do I hope and think is most likely of when they could get together though is in that like that why can I not speak the Heirs to the Empire, like the big movie where everything is brought together and there's a lot at stake. I think if they're gonna like get together or kiss on screen, I would say they would save something like as crazy as that for like a movie theater, in the heat of battle, like or like maybe one of those two are dying in some kind of battle against Thrawn or whoever else. That's my best bet of when it would happen. But where they're currently at doing two completely separate things, maybe not as likely. But what if I also do say that distance between two people could potentially grow, like the heart for each other, like realizing like that maybe they had good chemistry together, whether it was platonic or romantic or not, up for interpretation in my opinion. But maybe they realized they worked good together anyhow, and need to reconvene. But I don't think this is the last we'll see of Bo-Katan and her Mandos, because she'll be rebuilding. And I think maybe the New Republic will have to call for an alliance from the Mandalorians to fight against Thrawn or whoever else, or maybe the one way or the other. Even though I guess they are more independent, but I guess that's how I would tie everybody in if I had my best guess.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Cool beans. I guess Ahsoka season
Well,
2 is in development.
yeah, that
What were
they
you gonna
just
say?
announced. Well, we were talking about the announcements, but because the announcements from January, but I do like the track you're going with Ahsoka season 2.
Like I said, Ahsoka season 1 sets up the most amount of possibilities I've seen. I want to explore this new galaxy more. I want to see I want to know more of what happened in that time between like Ron and Ezra. But I definitely want to see more about this galaxy. I want to see more of what Balin was searching for in the distance. Um, I don't know. Give me some of your thoughts. Like, there's so much to talk about. I don't know where to start.
I I don't know how they would do it because like if you do Ahsoka season 2, it's got to focus on just Ahsoka and Sabine on Peridia, but you leave so much open-ended on the other side, on the other in the other galaxy with Thrawn and even Hera and Ezra and what happens after they didn't hug on screen. I'm still bitter, but do you do like split between the two of them where you're like, oh, this episode's in the regular galaxy and this one is on Peridia? Or
Yeah.
do you spend the entire season on Peridia and just kind of like, I guess, make references? But I don't feel like there's a way that you could legitimately do like a focus on either or. It has to be focused on Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then you also have the shoes to fill of Balin, like,
Yeah.
on
That's,
the
yeah.
little art that was posted by Dave, it's Ahsoka and Sabine on the hand. So
Yeah.
is he going to be replaced by another actor, or is he going to be killed off? I suppose.
Yeah. Difficult questions for sure there. Um, I feel like, as sad as it is, because, Ray Stevenson did such a great job, left one of the best performances I've seen acting in Star Wars, rest in peace. It leaves in such a spot where there's so much to be told and so much with that character. If there's a good recast, like somebody that fits the role, like I would probably want to see more of that explored. You think they would do that, or would you lean towards he gets killed off quicker? I guess maybe by that power he's searching for early.
I could see them doing a recast. I think the issue for Disney right now is I'm trying to figure out if they want to do a recast or if they want to do AI. I saw the new indie movie like about a month ago,
Yeah.
and the AI they used for indie was like insane. Like the
Yeah.
difference between that and like Leia and the Rise of Skywalker, which isn't AI, but like that scene where she's dueling with Luke in the flashback, like the difference between then and now, which is only like 3 years from when they were making, it's like insane. So like they could go down the 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 word, the read, like put an actor in the place and then
Yeah.
put something over his face.
Yeah.
um but
Which,
that was a movie budget compared to a show.
yeah, if they can do that, I would prefer that just because of how good. But it's a logistic thing of like, how do you like, if like the family would be okay with them doing that. Um, it's tough to say. Like, in an ideal world, if they can recreate an AI his voice perfectly, and like and which they can, because I've seen that Han Solo. That's my favorite part of the movie. Also, just because it's pretty, like, I don't know. Maybe it's the nostalgia. I actually like Indy 5 more than Indy 4. That's a separate topic, but uh,
I'm with you.
okay. Um, yeah. No, a lot of questions to be answered. To come back, to step back a little bit though, as far as like, we've got two separate major stories going on with, Ezra is now brought back in the fold in the main galaxy, but obviously Ahsoka, Sabine, Shin, and Balin are in the other galaxy. That does, pose a big question of how they would do it. In my mind, I still saw it as they could do a multi, like, they could pull it off potentially. At least in my mind, they tell both stories at the same time still, which is ambitious. But it would just involve things like, I think it would ultimately revolve around the connection between Sabine and Ezra. Now that they've like you know swapped places essentially, and now that they both have aptitude for the Force, as far as like they are connected to the Force and can recognize that, both of them, maybe they have some kind of Force connection similar to maybe like a sequel esque thing that connects them in a way that maybe they can somehow communicate with each other, or they like transition towards the like, let's say they get to a point in on Peridia where it's like, okay, this is a good point to like stop the story, like have a picture of Sabine and then transition to Ezra kind of looking the same way, but now we're back into the main galaxy. I don't know if you see what I'm saying from like a cinema standpoint. I don't know, a couple
Yeah, no.
ideas there, essentially.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going with that. I think that's the only way they could do it. I don't think they want to announce another show based around like Rebels characters brought back. I think that's the whole point of Ahsoka. It's just like Rebels season 5. So like I think that's the only way you could do that, where it's just like transitions, or maybe even because Sabine, as an example, I'm not saying they're a dyad, but like a step below that, where they have a connection so deep with each other because they're BFFs, where they're picking up on each other from that far away.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, but like
Somehow
the idea
It's
that you
Star
have where
Wars.
they're
They could find a way, maybe.
or who knows, maybe they'll just be like, all right, we got here, let's go back in the space whales.
Yeah,
But
that would disappoint me. I'm gonna be honest, because
that would,
what
yeah,
was left to be desired for me, because there's only 2 episodes of this, was I wanted to know more about this new galaxy and have like a bigger chunk of this. So like whatever's being told next, I need to know more about this new galaxy. We only got one planet when we know it's a whole new galaxy. I want to see more. I want to see more different creatures. What we got was a lot of fun. It just like I, I want more, and I'm not even gonna say I know I shouldn't, because I know I should. Like like give us more, please, of this new galaxy.
yeah. And I mean, we got 30 years. Ahsoka has 30 years to die until Rise of Skywalker. So there's plenty of time for them to, you know, expand upon this.
Yeah,
Um, so I would see no reason in them being like, all right, we got here, time to go back.
yeah,
It'd be like, I mean, the ones are there, so the legend exists outside of the Star Wars galaxy. So
yeah. Did I mention to you that I don't know if we've talked since, but when I met, or I got the chance to meet Timothy Zahn at the Twin Cities Comic Con. Um,
we haven't talked, but I saw you post it somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Well, anyhow, it like one of the things he had mentioned, because I definitely went up to the mic and the bigger one to like ask some questions, like some bigger questions, but some one way or the other, maybe I had asked this question, I'm not entirely sure, but that time in between though with Thrawn and Ezra, he expressed visible interest of like writing that potentially, if Lucasfilm could work it out. I'm not saying that would for sure happen, but he would be very. He said he's like, that's something I would love to do, is write like that time frame. Like I want either way, whether it's with books or shows, even like an episode of flashback. I would love to see more about that in between time. I think that's something that deserves a story. Like some things are better left maybe unsaid, or like a mystery like Yoda's species. But I need to know like what was going on that whole time.
Yeah, they were there for 10 years. 10 years, yeah. So I mean, there's so much story that's just there. So
Yeah, like
hopefully he gets a.
a contract. Yeah, that would be super nice. Um, yeah. Either way, a lot to unfold. I, it's tough to say, because obviously like the main galaxy, at least how I think it would start right is Thrawn's back. We've got Thrawn versus the New Republic, Ezra. I feel like an Heir to the Empire movie, at least how it's being shaped up to be, it really could see Ezra and Emin Esfandi be the lead like character, lead protagonist for an Heir to the Empire movie, at least from what I'm seeing, essentially. And it could be a multi movie one where like they start off in the big bad's Thrawn, but then towards the end of it, the Grisk or some other greater power, maybe from that new galaxy or wherever else, shows up, and then they have to figure out how to band together and like Thrawn and everyone else to fight off the another big bad of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I know in a couple of years from now we're going to be like discussing what it is that we're going to see in that movie, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
exciting, and it's
It's
exciting
yeah.
to think about.
it is fun to like talking about it so far away, but it is pretty far away at this point. But that's what makes it fun to like speculate and think about, and just be that much more excited about it because there is just excitement. I guess like I said, like the Mandoverse, like I want more stories in the Mandoverse to be told. I'm excited to see how they kind of guess wrap up and what the conclusion, what does the finale look like for this time frame in between the OT. Like it's it's just a new republic. It's its own thing. It's not just in between, right? It's its own thing at this point. So I'm curious what they do with it. Odd to do.
Yeah, it's there's so much time to fill. I mean, the gap is 30 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, and we're not even at the point where Ben joins Luke's order. That doesn't happen for like another 6 or 7 years. So
Yeah.
Luke's order hasn't even been fully set up yet. Like Ben is the first student, so you got 6 years until he has an actual student in his academy. So he's probably just going around getting artifacts and learning
Yeah.
about the Jedi. So
Yeah,
you got
Luke
that time you got to fill still too.
yeah, Luke could show up in some of these movies too and help out. I think I mean, being the legend material they have, it would be good to probably have him have some kind of role maybe towards the end of it. But yeah, even then, like they could go beyond that, and if he's doing his own thing with the academy, they can still continue like whether it be with Ezra, Ahsoka, whoever else, kind of just exploring this new comics or whatever else. But we're at the hour mark here. I think it might be a good time to start looking at some of the Q&A and dive in there. That's good with you. And
Yeah.
last minute reminder: if you guys have a question you guys want us for sure to ask, put it in the Q&A section here, the blue message in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. But yeah, we'll start from the top here. From I believe it's top down. So Declan Minecrafter says, "How hard are your animations to make?" Um, I don't know. Make stop motion animations, but I haven't made them in a while. Do you make animations?
I have an animation. I have a couple animations I've been showing off lately, but I mean, I don't make them.
Okay.
I,
Um,
I I don't draw, but yeah, other people make them for me.
I I do not make animations. I'm not talented enough to do that. But um, no, animations are cool. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one, but I don't make animations. I make stop motion animations like with Legos. That's just involves taking a lot of pictures and just doing micro movements. That's actually like the fun fact. That was the first ever thing I did on YouTube was Lego Star Wars stop motion animations. Like I did some like very small ones. It wasn't even on this channel, so you guys could try to look and find it, but you won't be able to find it. No, but there actually was some fun stuff in there, and one day on this channel, I would like to bring that back, I guess, from my roots of where I started, because I've always liked doing like short little films like that. But it is so stop motion is so time like demanding, and also you got to be careful not to like bump things because if you move it just can get all messed up. But yeah, no, I haven't done an animation in a while though. Uh, Treus Heavy 88 says, "What do you guys think of the relationship between Obi-Wan and Ahsoka? Did they at least hang out?" So I'm assuming he's in reference to like what time frame here? Maybe like during the
Clone
Empire.
Wars?
Uh, yeah, maybe the Clone Wars, but like like the Rebels time frame. They were like, I mean, I don't think they like hung out or interacted much from my guess, right? From like after the Clone Wars, like Obi-Wan's kind of just doing
Yeah,
his own thing and trying to stay hidden.
yeah. I mean, I think based on Rebels, I don't think she even knows he's alive. I think she's convinced that he died.
Yeah,
Because there's no indication that she knows he lived unless Bale told her that she lived, or unless like the only thing that I could see is Bale telling her that he lived. But I don't even know if he'd bring that up because he's supposed to be in hiding, and I feel like not that Ahsoka would be a snitch, but like
Yeah.
the less people that know, the better for
Yeah.
Luke or Obi-Wan. So I don't think she even knows he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think they were hanging out that much. I mean, during the Clone Wars, I mean, yes.
Your mic's cutting out.
Oh, I'm cutting out. I guess.
Yeah, your mic's cutting out.
Hello. 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 Wait. You're kind of cutting out for me. I'm kind of curious. We might be experiencing some lag. You're like robotic-y for me, so I don't know what I sound like to you. I sound robotic-y to you? Do we both just sound robotic-y?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, use this chance to make a droid imitation. Roger, Roger. All right, you got to do it though, because I don't know which one it actually is. So
I have no idea.
give me a Roger, Roger.
Roger.
Well, apologies, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. I kind of want to check in the chat. Is it me or is it who? They're saying you're turning into Optimus Prime. My bro is turning into Autobot. They're saying you're the problem. I think it's only an enhancement, but it still sounds a little bit robot-y. Here, I'm gonna throw in a "be right back," guys, and I'll just restart this quick. I'm gonna mute. I'll be right back, guys. All right. Optimus Prime should be no more. We're
Roll out.
back. All right. Where were we with these Q and A's? Sup, Ellie and others. Thank you, those of you guys hanging with us there. Let's head back to the Q and A, and as long as you answer or put the question before I get to the end of them, like we'll answer them. So even right now, you can put more in. But let's go to the next one by Omega095. What if Shin Hati met Luke Skywalker and marry him? I mean, it could technically happen. She could be the Mara Jade, because from what I understand and the things I've learned, especially like from hearing Timothy Zahn talk, and obviously what they do is like they make new stuff, but at the same time they pull ideas or things from it could be from Legends, it could be from canon, it could be anything. So that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally never seen Luke as someone that jumps into a relationship, but it's possible. I mean, there's room for it. She's still on Peridia though, isn't she?
Yeah, that would be a little bit tricky. Pretty long distance, especially they don't know each other.
Yeah, but I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Yeah. I did make I guess a video. I do think that Shin Hati's like arc would be eventually to turn back to the light side. That's my initial thoughts on it, but I don't know. Do you think she would ever turn, or will she continue to, I guess, go down a darker path?
Um, I feel like naturally, because it's Star Wars, it would be to go into a lighter path, but we might see her like I could see them throwing in a curveball because a lot of stories in Star Wars are redemption stories because that's kind of the message Star Wars has.
Yeah.
And I could see that being the same thing here, but they might throw a curveball at us first. But you never know. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, though, I won't put Shin Hati if she meets Luke Skywalker. I won't put it out of the complete realm of like. I'll give it a chance, but a very very low one. Like,
yeah.
but all right. Thanks for the question. Bly's Emporium of Randomness. What are your guys' thoughts on the Rey movie? Any plot expectations? Um, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it's supposed to be like a new Jedi Order to some extent. So like Rey reinstituting the Jedi Order, but that's as much as I know. I guess. What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I'm super excited for it. It's actually my most anticipated Star Wars project, but like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna kind of be like what we see in the comics for like Luke. It's gonna be kind of similar to that, like where it's a couple Jedi, not a lot. She's 30 at this point, so she's aged 10 years exactly. Um, they don't have the Sith aren't around anymore, so the Sith aren't going to be the conflict. So I'm thinking that they're going to make a new conflict with somebody. So whoever that is, I think it will be good. Um, I'm hoping that this new conflict is with someone that has lightsabers or something similar to lightsabers.
Yeah.
Um, but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, that could be fun. There was an idea. This wasn't my idea. I forgot who had it, but I wouldn't have mind like even Ray potentially having some children and raising them, I guess, as force sensitives, and just a long term idea of like maybe one of them's dark side, one of them's light side type of thing. I don't know though. That's just like a pretty simple idea, but like could be fun to play with. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't, because that was the movie that was supposed to like be the next on the slate. Like it was supposed to be that December 2025 that was pushed back, but now it appears the Mando and Grogu movie is there. I would think that it should be the movie after that one if they're on track. I'm not entirely sure though. Like it's tough to
Yeah,
say.
from what it seems, the guy, I forget his name, but the guy that worked on Peaky Blinders, he's still writing the script for it. So I mean, it's the idea, I believe, is that they're going to start going into production in May or March, in that time frame. But it should be like a December slotted release still. I think they always wanted it to be. I think they always wanted it to be a December movie because that's what the sequels were. So I think naturally it fills that role.
Yeah.
But I mean, Peaky Blinders has been really popular, so I assume that he's writing straight fire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's a good writer to have. And yeah, I'm more open minded, I guess, to this idea. Like, I do like the Rise of Skywalker as a whole. For me, the sequels aren't like my most favorites, but there are ideas and characters that I want to see more of, especially like Finn as well. I'd like to see expanded upon. Um, uh, but yeah, imagine we go from no movies to May 2026. We get Mando and Grogu, and then a December Ray movie, like in the same year. That could be a fun year. That could be really.
We're gonna be eating good, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. It a lot of like there's always projects like on the horizon. It's just like I want them to be I want a higher completion ratio to what's announced though, because some stuff is out of the control, but it's like I don't want to get excited and then it never like stuff doesn't come out. Like I'm not, hopefully everything does. But it's tough when things are so far away. Like even today, like I was seeing this the rumor now that the Heir to the Empire, that culmination movie is supposed to be in 2028. How would they even know that that's supposed to be in 2028 from now? Like that's going to be done. Like
That's a long window.
yeah, that's a long window, and there's a lot that could change in between then. Like I just don't even like the idea of like where are people even getting this information and like why like that is pretty far out. Like that's pretty wild to me.
That's why I don't really buy information that doesn't come from Disney or Lucasfilm themselves because like with the thing that came from Bespin Bulletin the other day where they're like, oh, the movie's been put on hold. Like 2 hours later, Lucasfilm was like, no, 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 we're
Yeah.
not. No. So
Yeah.
like I don't really trust the sources unless it like comes directly from Lucasfilm where they're like, oh yeah, we're working on
Yeah.
the script for this still, or this has been slotted, or we're not doing like for example Rangers of the New Republic anymore. Like that's off the table. Like unless they specifically say something, I'm not like ready to jump on it per se.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
I, I mean, yeah, I did make a I did make a short as soon as that came out because that was a big story, like talking about like, is the Ray movie canceled or something like that. And then yeah, like literally an hour later it's just like, no, it's not. It's like, okay. Um um I, I do like rumors like it gets discussion going. But I do try to take it as a grain of salt. Like it's best to have multiple sources, right? But yeah, ultimately, there's only one person that has a final say. Like we're talking about what's Mando season 4 going to be? Is it going to be its own season and then the movie? Is it going to be 6 episodes and then the movie? Is it just going to be the movie? Like ultimately, we're having a good discussion. My best idea is like, well, I think they might do 6 episodes of a movie. Doesn't matter what I think or what other people think. Like those decisions are still being made, and it's totally up to them what they're going to do. So like, it's not decided. Whatever we're talking about, not like it's not a given. And just like with anything that's announced too, it takes time. It takes a lot to put to something together. Same with Lando. We were talking about a little bit. It's still like hasn't been much word on it. I hope that comes out. I think it's still in like the early like script writing stages though, and not really next up on the slate though.
yeah, and I think that's where most of the projects are that they announced. I feel like because I know they didn't cancel the Ryan Johnson trilogy. It's just they're waiting till he finishes his trilogy with Knives Out, which whenever that
Yeah.
next one comes out, he's probably going to start writing it.
See, like
But the writing
I've
process takes a while.
I've just forgotten about that. Like it's just been so long.
Yeah,
like, um,
exactly.
yeah. Uh, Dan, the Stay on Target pilot. What's up, Dan? Um, he asked, "Will the Mando movie make $1 billion?" I think it will, just because of how universally loved those characters are in a lot of different countries. I see, for example, like Japan. I mean, Japan's a big Star Wars fan, and that's why they have Star Wars Celebration 2025. But they're huge like fans over there, and just universally loved, a lot more of a casual audience there. I think it will get a billion. Um, I think it should be a lock, unless like I don't even want to say unless. I think it's got to make a billion. I don't see how it couldn't. You guys are awesome, by the way. Thanks, Dan. We'll get you on soon. Been a bit. I'd like to catch up as well. Do you think it will make a billion though?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's got
I
it.
mean, the only project that didn't was Solo, and that was just bad timing and marketing.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I still like.
it just got
Why did
short
that
end of the
just
stick.
with 2 years in between? Like, why not just put it in the December slot? Like, I don't know.
Didn't it come out like right before Infinity War came out or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that?
something like that too.
Okay.
And and yeah, right before Infinity War, and then like right after another Star Wars movie too. It's like could have spaced it out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was just the timing thing, but I
yeah,
think
I was watching Solo the other day. I like Solo. Like I do like Solo, and I want to see that. That's
yeah.
why I'm interested about Lando. Like I want to see some more of that story kind of get told. Um, will we see like Han Solo and Leia at recast and like Han Solo? We already have the actor, but will we see him show up in Ahsoka season 2 or any of this?
I love Alden. Like
Yeah.
he does such a great Han Solo. I think I've seen this in discussions because it always pops up in my Twitter feed, which I need to get off of. But like people always like the difference. Like it would be weird going to a movie, seeing Solo, having the original trilogy with Hans, like with Harrison Ford, and then going back to Alden right after. So like I kind of see that, but I have no problem with that because like it's Han Solo. Like you're gonna go in and it's Han Solo because he's acting like Han Solo. He's cocky. He's got that swagger. He's Han Solo, and I think like you have the cast to do the recast. Like Billy Lord, the Carrie's daughter, she played her in Rise of Skywalker. So like that's already lined up. Graham Hamilton, he played Luke in Book of Boba Fett, and he looks like Mark
He should just
Hamill. He
be
looks
he
spot
should
on.
just be the actor at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you've seen like the deep fake, there's a deep fake on YouTube where it's putting Harrison Ford's face over Alden's, and like you genuinely cannot tell the difference between the two of them. Like obviously, like Alden's got like a little bit of a thicker jaw, but like they're the same person. Like they
Yeah.
literally like they're Han Solo.
Yeah. That wasn't like maybe initially when I first saw the trailer I was like, "Huh?" But like that was never like I don't care. Like I want to see the story. Like
Yeah,
that shouldn't be a difference maker. Like I want to see the story. Um yeah. Um
if the characters can actually fit in, there's no reason to withhold it because you can't decide between recasting or defaking. I think the recast of, I mean, Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor's a recast. Hayden Christensen's a recast, technically. Not a recast. I mean,
yeah, and Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi is my most favorite actor and most favorite character, and that's a recast technically. Um
yeah.
uh yeah. Next question we've got from Benjamin Fawbush. Have you heard that we are getting official Star Wars What If? Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier in the stream. I think I saw you jump in maybe halfway through, but yeah, we were talking about that in the earlier part of the stream about like the official Star Wars What If potentially being developed. I think our summary though is it's overwhelmingly positive. Like and that's a good thing all the way around.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, if you want our full thoughts, go earlier in the stream. Sonia, Pataha, Bismo, what is your favorite scene from Star Wars: The Force Awakens? Mine is when Kylo Ren uh, meet for the first time, and I noticed when Kylo Ren uh, uh, bridal carries Rey reminds me of the Phantom of the Opera. Oh, like maybe when she captures. Is that what it is? I I'm not entirely sure. When Kylo and Rey meet for the first time, that's their favorite. I think my favorite like moment, my favorite scene is probably when Han Solo is talking about the Force itself now that he's like much older and wiser on it, and says it's all real, like to Rey and Finn. That's a deep moment for me. I really like that quote, and I like that part of that. But what's your favorite Force Awakens?
That is a great scene. I love that scene. For me, it's between the moment between Han and Ben, because that moment becomes the reason he turns back to the light. So it's either that moment or when Rey pulls the lightsaber out of the snow. That just gives me chills every time I see it.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, just like getting the saber and like the voices. You even hear Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan saying Ray
Yeah.
in it or something like that. That was fun. I remember some people talking about. I was hanging out in the Stay on Target live stream, and I think like the same question was asked, but they talked about the cinema. Like cinematography wise, like the X-wings help out at Maz's castle, like fun scene, looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun to go around in that. That it was definitely really fun to see in theaters for the first time. But yeah, definitely the moment we're talking about the Force though. Benjamin follows asked, "Do you think Thrawn will fight Luke in the new movie?" I think he definitely could, but I think if Luke's there, it'll be with like Ezra and potentially Ahsoka and just like Mando. Like it's gonna be like an Avengers style fight against Thrawn. But I don't think that, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think Luke will be like the focal point. I'm leaning towards Ezra is gonna be like the focal point of the good guys right now, at least in this arc. That's just my thoughts. What do you think though?
I think it's setting. I think the main, like the general, like the main leaders against each other is going to be Hera and Thrawn again. I mean, that's set up from Rebels. He's got a bone to pick with both her and Ezra. But I mean, he's responsible for what happened at Chopper Base on Atalan.
Yeah,
So like naturally, there's that rivalry there, and he already deeply respects her as a tactician. So I think the rivalry is established there. I think Luke shows up, but I don't think he's like like I don't think he's the main protagonist for fighting Thrawn. I think the main protagonist moves to somebody else. I'm not sure who it goes to though.
yeah.
Like it could be anybody.
Yeah, I do like the idea, and I do think that makes sense that Hera would be like the the brains behind the New Republic against Thrawn, and I mean they give that would be the best chance. Like, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just leaning. I really liked Eminence Fondy's portrayal. Maybe it's a little recency bias, but I feel like it's set up, and especially with Dave at the helm, using some more of his characters. Unless Ahsoka gets back, like that's the thing. Like if Ahsoka between now and that movie is brought back in the new galaxy, she might be the lead like protagonist from it. But right now, I could see Ezra having a huge part though. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea too. I mean, I love Ezra, so I'm with you on that. But you're right. I mean, she might end up coming back to be like the face of the movie, but
yeah,
it's
it's tough to say. It's all speculation. It's pretty far out at this point because that's not even like that could be two Star Wars movies come out. That's I mean probably two Star Wars movies come out before we get the movie in question right now talking about. Unless
yeah.
of course Ahsoka season 2 they shift away from Peridia or do both and are telling some of that story as well. But Ellie Blair asks pineapple on pizza, yay or nay, and why? Oh, I am a big fan of pineapple on pizza. I worked actually my first like job in the food industry. I actually did work at a pizza place, and I like pineapple in pizza. I don't know. I think that it just complements the flavor. Like pizza itself is kind of sweet as is, in my opinion. Some sauce, but just a little bit Canadian bacon would be nice. Well, okay, what are your thoughts? I gotta know though. Are you a pineapple on pizza or no?
I've never had it before. I'm not like against it because I've never had it, but like I can't say anything because like
Yeah.
I love pizza with white sauce, chicken, and like spinach on it. Like
Oh,
that's like my jam.
oh,
So
that's
like,
good.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I can't say anything about anyone's dislikes
Yeah.
or
That,
likes because I'm like white sauce and
yeah. Yeah, I gotta be honest. You're asking the wrong person because I just like food, but like I work. I'm talking to Ellie anyhow. I just like food, so I'm not gonna discriminate when it comes to food. But I worked at a pizza place, so like I made just about any combination of pizza for myself while I was working there. And actually, like I was talking last stream though, like I got a pizza stone for Christmas because I now I make like pizza from scratch, like with dough and stuff. And I will use anything that like sounds good. But I think that pineapple certainly deserves to be on pizza. But one tip though for those of you that are making it and or want to try it and like, give your own review on it, make sure that you are drying the pineapple first so it's not super liquidy. So because then your pizza will become very soggy if there's a lot of drippings. It depends on like, what you're doing. Obviously fresh pineapple might be better, but like if you have a canned pineapple, make sure you're like drying it out first. So the pineapple is as dry as it can get though, and it will improve it. A little bit of food lore while we're talking Star Wars.
love it.
Awesome. Floppy Ink says, "What about Abeloth? Would Abeloth be a good villain?"
Is that in relation to Heir to the Empire or Rey, do you think?
I feel like I've seen more discussion, at least probably recency bias, about like Ahsoka season 2 and like Heir to the Empire probably right now. I mean, it could be both though, but like, what do you think though? Do you think that's a direction that because at least in my mind, like initial conflict, Thrawn versus the New Republic, but then a big bag shows up, and that's where something like an Abeloth or like a Grisk or anything else. That's how I could see that showing up. Um, but I don't know. I'm not as like that's not necessarily something I want to see. Like I'll be open minded to it, but that's not something like it's a cool idea. But maybe due to reading some of the Thrawn books, I want maybe the Grisks. I don't know though.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm open minded for it, but I'm not like hunting for it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's some people hunting for it. Like, uh, not to say like it's necessary. Like you don't have wants or anything. But I feel like I've seen potentially some other content creators that are like convinced that it's gonna happen. I think you gotta have some kind of be a bit more realistic, right, and have a little bit more open mind with it. But
Yeah,
I think that could be a fun idea though.
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, we're currently our last question here. Comrade asks, "What do you guys think made the Night Sisters eager to leave Peridia? It felt like they were afraid of something or someone." Definitely did. That is a great question and something I want to get answered in season 2. I'm gonna guess it has something to do with that power that Balin is, I guess, searching for. But I guess, what do you think?
Like, I don't know. They were in a rush to get out. I mean, it could literally be as simple as they wanted to get back to Dathomir because they knew that the Night Sisters were gone and they had no way to get back. And so they might be in a rush to get back to Dathomir just for that. And we might be overlooking it, but I feel like that would be kind of a stale way to describe it. Because
Yeah.
there's that beacon that looks like the castle on Mortis at the end of Ahsoka. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
what
not
is that?
saying
That's
like
so
the
cool. That
sun
was
is
so
there,
cool.
but
Yeah, that
it
was so
was.
cool. Like just a little tease like that. You can't leave that not untold. That has to gotta know what's going on there.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It could be a villain per se, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Avalon. I mean,
Yeah. I'm also seeing in the chat the Yuzon Vong, which I think is just similar to the Grisk. It's just, legends, I guess, right? But like from what I said or from what I learned from Timothy is like how they see books when it comes to or like most books, not books that are related to them, but like books in general, how they see books, it's all fair game. It doesn't matter if it's canon or Legends when it comes to book material, they'll pull whatever like onto the screen, like like I don't know. It could be the Yuzhan Vong. I would not be. I would not be like. I would be pretty surprised, but I wouldn't be like um that shocked if it was like the Yuzhan Vong. Um, as a bigger. Then it
Yeah.
asks like, why not just do the Grisk?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. It's there's a lot left open, I suppose, because like if you're moving away from the original trilogy, you got that gap that could fill with villains, but like if you put like a I guess like a super force sensitive villain in there, then you know who deals with that, and then if you deal with a big like military force, who deals with that, because we know that the New Republic at some point demilitarizes, which is obviously post Ahsoka at some point. We don't know when, but they still have a military then. But they at some point are going to be they're going to feel safe enough where they're like, oh yeah, there's not a war in the galaxy for us to need a military for.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I accidentally left the Q&A open and got another question here. That's a funny one from Ellie. Do you think you could survive in the Star Wars? I'm assuming that means like as is, like right now. Um, that's a good question. It really depends on where you are, though. Okay, to be honest, if I could be randomly teleported through the Star Wars universe right now, and it's completely at random, I might just take that risk though, even if I have no force sensitivity or anything. That's how cool it is. But would I survive? It's completely dependent on where I'm at. Like, Ellie, give me some options here. What planets do I get to choose? Any of the planets? Like, if I am teleported to Hoth as is, it's gonna be a short time. It's gonna be a short time living.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Dude,
basically Hoth right now outside, but
yeah, literally. Nah, I'm with you. I'm like, I would get like teleported there, spawn in, and like a building would fall over on me or something. Like it'd be like Coruscant
yep.
during the siege of Coruscant. I'd be like, oh look, a build.
Oh, yep, just something like that. I get teleported. I'm on the absolute bottom floor of Coruscant, like the like how would I ever rise up? Like, you know, like I think I'm just stuck down there.
Yeah, it's game over at that point.
Yeah. No, it's a good question though, but I don't know. It might have to be a little bit more specific in that, like, you know, I don't know. It depends on where I'm at, right? Like, am I a Mandalorian? Am I a Jedi? Am I just a random person? Like, I'm just as is, which I'm just gonna case. Um, what era am I in? Like, does the Empire like rule over the galaxy? Maybe I wouldn't be as inclined.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up the Q&A section. So, thanks for everyone for contributing there. It really does make the show fun to just kind of some more discussion from you guys. We'll hang out in the chat here for a second. Ellie says, "Let's say Empire." I'm probably, well, it's tough. Like, could be some controversial stuff here. Like, we're talking about how long could I survive? Well, what if I just pledge my allegiance to the Empire? Like, I feel like I could make it pretty far doing that.
Yeah. You're thriving if you're doing that, and well, you thrive for a couple years at least.
Yeah, a couple years until they don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I guess if you see anything in the chat, anything else from anyone you wanna address, I'm seeing that there's some love of your what ifs here from Taylor Shipman. Shipman. Yeah, just seeing some people talking about pizza only with olives. Black olives is my favorite topping on pizza. I really love black olives though. But again, I like all
Really?
pizza. You like what? What do you like?
Oh no, I said really.
Yeah. I like
Oh
black
hell.
olives. Yeah. Are you more of a
Awesome.
green olive or no olive?
I'm definitely a no olive, but like here's my thing. I will always do like plain. Like I don't know why. Like for example, if I get like a Philly cheesesteak, I'll get it plain just because like I don't know, I like the cheese and the meat. But like if I get it and I can't choose to put things on it and people put like peppers and onions and all the extra stuff in it, I'll eat that. Same with a pizza. Like I'll eat it. I just won't selectively put it on there.
Okay, that's
But I
fair.
don't know if that means I dislike it or I like it. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, it's respectable though. Like at the very least, you're not wasting stuff, right? Like right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's tough to know for sure. I was very picky. I guess when I was younger, though, I guess a lot of people, as far as like, I like, for example, broccoli. I could just not eat broccoli. I still don't exactly like broccoli, but I tolerate it these days because I know it's good for me. But uh, yeah, no, it's been fun hanging out. I don't think I think we covered just about everything. Fun catching up. Lots to look forward to. I think what we're hoping for though is hoping for some more announcements of the current stuff and like maybe some release dates or some trailers. That would be good. That would be good to know for some of this stuff. But yeah, thanks for coming on. You're always welcome if you ever wanna talk. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks those of you hanging out in the chat or watching the VOD. I hope you're having a great day, great rest of your weekend. Make sure to go check out Anthony's channel, link in the description. Daily what if movies, essentially. Um, but yeah, probably be live again same time next week. We'll see, and larger video coming out next week as well. But yeah, uh, thank you, and see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me.